Hello boys and girls, I'm still at 42 Gear Street and I'm very honored to be shooting this video in Henning Pauli's main control room. Today we're gonna dial in a hopefully very nasty guitar tone with only 3 pedals from one of my favorite companies, and that is TC Electronic from Denmark. What we got over here is TC Electronic's take on the infamous rat type of distortion. It's actually a whole cage full of rats. Oh, is that a beer?
Found a beer in my fridge from Belgium. Someone left that here. I'm thinking, isn't this like a thing that you do, like drink?
But you know what? This is a triple rat, and this is like a triple beer because it's 9.5%. If you drink that,
oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Would you drink that?
Yeah. Can you open it for me? Close, everybody.
I'll also make that camera slightly darker.
So that's some really strong shit. Can I put it here? Am I allowed? Yeah.
Oh, there's a coaster.
Oh, even better.
So what are you doing?
I'm doing a video about 3 pedals. I'm gonna dial in a great nasty guitar tone with only 3 pedals. I'm not gonna use any of your
Why do you want your
amps.
guitar tone to be nasty?
Because I'm evil.
Why can't it be pretty?
No.
And awesome and beautiful and singing?
That other people can do. You can cover that. Be pretty and. So look at this. So what we got here, I was just talking about that, is TC Electronics' take on the rat. And this is like
slightly fuzzish, very saturated and thick.
Exactly. And actually, the rat pedal is one of the few pedals that I use for high gain tones. Mostly I use amps.
Drink.
Whenever I want something to be a little more nasty. Not like HM2 shitty.
Oh, okay,
but
yeah. Just a little bit. You want a little bit of top-end fizzle.
Yeah.
And real
grungy
thickness.
Yeah.
Like 50, 150 thickness, but with
a little more dirt and a little more grunge. And
okay.
Right. So, and here we got, from what I understand, a triple rat. So we got 3 different modes called Fat, you can read it, Classic, and Turbo, right? And we're going from this pedal into a brand new impulse response loader from TC Electronic. And you know what's cool about that?
Oh, it's called the Impulse IR loader. What? I mean, wow! What a name!
But you know what? The cool thing is, it actually works. And that means, you know what that means? You can throw anything at it. It will load any IR, because the problem very often
mono, stereo, no matter how long?
That's the thing, no matter how long. So it is up to 200 milliseconds.
I don't use IRs, I have no idea.
Okay, but that's the problem very often. Like with my IR packs, that people complain they're longer, and some of the very good sounding IR loaders, hardware IR loaders...
It's the only thing that you've ever heard complaints about being too long, right?
He's ruining my video. I can't help.
What do you mean ruining? No. I'm adding value.
Yeah, you're adding beer, right?
There you go. What guitar are you playing?
You tell me. That's yours.
It's a Valiant Smith. In actually the color spec and everything, how I spec'd it, and they have 2 more exactly like that they're going to sell to people on the Valiant Guitars website. Also here at Gear Street. It's got a
link below.
Wenge neck, maple fretboard, all that. P90 humbucker, bare knuckle, pretty awesome from Ukraine. So enjoy the Kohle video now, if that's in any way possible.
Leave. Geh nach Hause.
Ich bin doch daheim!
So the cool thing about this IR loader is that you can throw anything at it. Like, it will load pretty much any IR, no matter which sampling rate, no matter how long it is. And that is a problem that a lot of other IR loaders have. And you can load up to, I think, 100, correct? 99 different IRs. Right now, we are using one of my IRs. This one is coming from my Bogren Digital Rainbows and Chainsaws pack. And this is an IR, I think it's called Modern Standard, of a Vintage 30 in a Mesa Boogie Cap. Pretty standard. I always recommend that you start, if you dial in the tone, you should start with the cabinet and the microphone or the IR, because if you don't get that part right, you can't really judge how the distortion sounds. So first of all, we're going to check out the Magus, which is, once again, TC Electronics' take on the rat. We're not using an amp here, so let's see if we can get a great tone by only using the pedals. We are using the classic mode. Let's see what this sounds like. It just has this lovely fuzzy low end. And that typical transistor top end. Nasty, yet nice. Let's switch to the so-called fat mode. I don't really need that because it feels like it's just pumping a little more low end into the distortion, which makes the distortion even more loose than it already is. Let's check out the third mode. That is the so-called turbo mode. And to my ears, it sounds a little more aggressive, right? The turbo?
Yeah. It definitely is.
Right. And it sounds also a little tighter than the normal mode. So let's go for that one. But you might say this is not clean and not tight enough and not modern enough for metal. And that's why I brought a third pedal called the ZEUSS. And I'm gonna use it just like I normally would use a tube screamer. Not for real overdrive or distortion, but for tightening the low end before like going into the main distortion, the red. Let's try that. Or this is the pedal, the overdrive, the ZEUSS alone. And you can immediately hear how it reduces the low end going into the distortion. Let's see how tight we can get this. And suddenly things start sounding metal, right? Actually sounds really cool. This is so cool because you can still hear that rat distortion, like with the fizzy top end and the slightly fuzzy low end. And it's still not super tight, but with a boost like this, it actually gets usable even in a more modern and technical metal context. And as you might know, these days in the metal world, it's actually more not about sounding good anymore, because everybody's sounding good these days. It's about sounding unique, about sounding different. And this is a nice way to get more character into your guitar tones. And the cool thing is, this stuff is really affordable. It's only 3 pedals, right? The Magus is 79 or something like that, so 80 bucks for a red pedal. That's a lot of fun. And what about the overdrive?
It's the same as the Magus, yeah.
Right, so that's a pretty cheap rig, right? By the way, that is Michael from TC Electronic from Denmark. Say hello. And there's also an inbuilt equalizer. So I think if you tap those 2 buttons here, there's a global EQ, so you can change the high end and the low end with 2, I think, shelving EQs probably. It sounds like that. So if your basic setup just needs to be a little brighter or darker or fatter, you can do that within the IR loader. If you're into rats, check this out. If you need, and I know you guys need hardware IR players that actually work, check out the red thing here. And whatever, check out TC Electronics, because it's such a cool company, both for studio gear and for guitar gear. I'm gonna drink Henning's beer now and do a lot of
I didn't get a beer.
What did you get?
I got a iced tea blueberry. But cheers anyway.
Prost.
Prost.
Skål.
Skål.
I forgot to say one thing. We should do that. We have a giveaway, right? We're giving away the IR loader.
We are.
Right. So one of you guys can actually win this IR loader. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel and subscribe to my email list. And I will pick one winner in, let's say, 2 weeks after the release of this video and send you this lovely little red thing. So, yeah, so you can finally sound better. In the studio, on stage, everywhere. Once again, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my email list, and I will announce the winner in 2 weeks. I think that's all.
That's perfect.
That's perfect, right?
Yeah.
I also need one, by the way. So you got to give me one more.
You got one. Yeah.
I got one.
You can keep this one.
Okay, yeah, but I have to give it away. I need another one.
Yeah.
And Henning also wants one. No, he doesn't like IRs.
Okay, shop's closed.
That's all for today. Thanks. See you in hell, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.